What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be going over the top dividend stocks, top dividend growth stocks to buy in 2021. And I also want to share with you guys one of my long-term portfolios here on M1 Finance and talk about every stock I own, every ETF I own, and what my plans are, what my goals are for 2021 with this particular portfolio. And we're going to be looking here initially at the monthly time frame, and you guys can see right off the bat, over the past month, this portfolio's up $452, 432 of that being market gains, and $19 being earned dividends. And we actually just hit a milestone on this portfolio. We just cracked $10,000 in the same week we hit 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. And a little side note, I also won the fantasy football championship. So this has been a pretty good week, guys. A lot of milestones this week. And I want to share with you guys, again, everything in this portfolio, activity in this portfolio, and again, my goals for 2021. So if you guys find value, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to also check out the M1 Finance playlist linked down below, which goes over this portfolio starting from $0 back in July of 2019 and how it got all the way to where it is today as I'm filming this with literally 2 days left in 2021. So again, at this point in time, and again, that playlist is linked down below, and at this point in time, the portfolio is at $10,000, $10,040.22. And the past month, we've seen some pretty good gains, up almost 5% money-weighted return here. And again, $450, 430 being market gain, 19 bucks being dividends. So these are the holdings I have. I mean, I've been religiously adding to the same holdings pretty much for a year. I've tweaked the portfolio a little bit. I've added some growth stocks in the past, let's say, more towards the beginning of 2020, I added more growth stocks. But ever since then, I mean, I've been diligently, religiously adding to the same holdings and beefing them up, building them up. And the beauty of M1 Finance is it allows you to have a pie system portfolio, and it's very visual. So if you're a visual person, this is great for you, right? I'm personally very visual. So I like seeing all my slices here split up, and you notice they're all about 5% of my portfolio. And the main dividend stocks, let's just get into it now. The main dividend stocks here I'm buying, and dividend growth stocks as well. One is Starbucks. This is one that I was buying heavily at $75, and I actually called this out beautifully a couple months ago. Not to toot my own horn. I don't like showing off or whatever. That's not me, but I like to, give it to you guys straight as well. And the truth is, we were talking about Starbucks, saying at $75 it was a great potential buy, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not going to tell you to go buy a stock, but I was saying for myself, it was a great buy at $75. And if you guys happen to do your own research and bought it with me, you'd be up a good chunk now as it's sitting at $106 per share. So even now, I mean, if it hovers around 100, even if it dips back into the 90s in 2021, I'm looking to add more onto it for the capital appreciation and for the dividend and for the dividend growth. We can see the current dividend is not too great. It's at about a 1.6% yield. I mean, that is pretty decent. But back at $75, it was a 4% dividend or 3% something dividend, which was fantastic. So at this point, I think Starbucks is, for me, a hold since I got in at $75. But the second it gets down low hundreds, even into the 90s, I'm willing to add into it, right? I'm willing to buy more into Starbucks. So that's definitely one of the main dividend stocks that I'm looking at for 2021. And another big one here is AbbVie. I love AbbVie, ticker symbol ABBV. They currently still pay a pretty nice yield, even though the stock, itself has run up so much in the past couple of weeks. I mean, if you guys, or months rather, if you guys take a look at AbbVie's chart, and let's see if we can see it on M1 Finance. I'm not even sure. They don't really have great charting. But yeah, anyway, if we look at AbbVie's chart, I believe a couple months ago it was at $70, $80 a share, $90 a share. And its dividend back then was great, 7-8%. And now it's still pretty good at 4.5%. So if you're looking at a dividend stock with growth, I believe I made a video a week ago, and I'll link it down below, top 5 dividend stocks to buy in 2021. I go more in depth. We talk about AbbVie. I believe I said in that video the 5-year compounded annual growth rate for AbbVie, its dividend, is over 20%. So that's ridiculous. So they're growing their dividend very quickly. They pay a current yield of 4%, 4.5%, and on top of that, they're getting great price appreciation. I love this one heading into 2021, and make sure to go check out that top 5 stocks, dividend stocks for 2021 video. I'll link it down below. It's a nice supplement to what you're watching right now. So that is AbbVie. I love AbbVie. I'm in. You guys saw the cost basis. I don't know if you guys saw it. I'm in at about 92 a share, so now it's trading at 106. I'm happy about that. And again, with Starbucks, I'm in at about 75, and it's also trading at 106. Would you take a look at that? And both of those pay nice dividends that are growing fairly quickly. And a couple other companies I'm looking at here, not necessarily the best for dividend growth, but for dividends in general, they're great. I'm looking at Johnson & Johnson, ticker symbol JNJ. They pay a 2.5% dividend right now. I was buying this one for the past year and a half, and honestly, ever since I started this portfolio, we got in at 140. Now it's trading at 155, and I'm just averaging in. I'm probably buying, in this portfolio in general, probably about $1,000 of stocks per month, maybe a little bit less, and I'm putting at least $100 a month into Johnson & Johnson just for that long-term dividend, the compounded return that I'm going to get from J&J. And by no means is it going to be Tesla, where 10x is in a year, but it's going to be a pretty safe spot to put money in the stock market, at least in my opinion. And I'm going to be buying more in 2021. Same with McDonald's, although McDonald's is a little lofty, I'd say. I think in terms of valuation, J&J is cheaper than McDonald's. I mean, McDonald's P ratio is 32, and I bet my money on it that J&J is under that. Yeah, it's at 23. So P-wise, J&J is a bit cheaper. I'd like to see McDonald's lower, and if it does get lower, maybe towards my cost basis, low 200s. If it dips back into the hundreds, I'm going to be buying it heavily in 2021 just for that dividend, right, and the safer quote-unquote investment that it is. And they pay a 2.3% dividend now, so not too bad. So I'm looking at McDonald's for 2021, and you guys can see all the other holdings I have. I mean, I have a dividend growth ETF at the top of my portfolio. This is a ETF. It's a bunch of stocks into one. It pays about 2% dividends, I believe 2.3%. So that's number one. I have Amazon under that. I have MasterCard under Starbucks. AbbVie's right under MasterCard. Then we have Disney, ARK, right? We also have Microsoft. We have Google. We have VEA, which is an ETF that has a lot of developed markets within it other than the U.S., excluding the U.S. So I have some growth. I have some international market exposure, and I have some dividends. So this is kind of like a salad portfolio. It's not necessarily just a dividend portfolio. There's a lot into it, right? There's a lot that comprises it, about 19, 20 holdings at this point. And you can see at the bottom, Exxon, ticker symbol XOM. We have PayPal. We have Altria, another big dividend payer. Facebook, Pepsi, right? Realty Income, RQ, AT&T, Duke, Procter & Gamble. And since this is a dividend video, I'm not going to talk about the growth names, but the dividend players I just named here at the second half of the portfolio, I'm buying many of these. Exxon, I actually just bought $100 of Exxon prior to me filming this video. That's what actually boosted us over the 10,000. I bought more Exxon. This is a stock here that I think is great for the portfolio. It's more of a recovery type of play. I don't have many recovery plays in this portfolio, and it pays over an 8% yield. So I want to be involved with Exxon, especially as, energy gets back to normal, we're getting travel back to normal, and the V-shot should get consumer confidence back to normal. I think this is all great for energy. So we have Exxon. Altria is another one that pays about an 8% dividend as well. I want to be adding that in 2021 for some cash flow, as well as Pepsi. Realty Income is another one that's kind of a recovery play as well that I'm going to be adding a ton more into. It pays about 4.5% right now in dividends, and we're right around my average cost basis at about 63. It's trading at 61 now. So I'm going to be adding into these different stocks here, no doubt about it, guys. And by the way, Realty Income is a REIT. It's not a stock. It's a realty investment trust. But that's another one I'm adding. Same with AT&T maybe, and probably some Duke and Procter & Gamble as well. These are a lot that I like, a bunch of other ones that I like too. So that is what I'm looking to do in terms of individual stocks. And in terms of the portfolio as a whole, what is the goal? And honestly, guys, I made a video, the previous video, I said I'm going to get this portfolio to $50,000, and maybe that was a bit too lofty. I thought about it for a little bit. I wrote some goals down for 2021, and I figured maybe 50,000 is a little bit too lofty. But I did come to a new number, 25,000. That seems a bit more realistic. So that's the main goal for the portfolio as a whole, right? And it's pointless having a big goal if there's no steps to get to that goal. So how are we going to get to 25,000 in this portfolio? Well, I'm going to be putting in $1,000 a month minimal, right? Minimum. That's the minimum, $1,000 a month. So over 12 months, that's going to add to about $12,000, exactly $12,000. So if we add 10,000 and 12,000, and sure, we might get some dips in the market. It might not add up completely here, but bear with me. But if we add 10,000 and 12,000 and we reinvest all those dividends, we get some capital gain on that $22,000. It should be at $25,000 in a perfect scenario by 2022. And I know the market's the market. It can do what it wants. For all we know, this could crash 30% in February, and then I still add the $1,000 a month, but at the end of the year, it won't be $25,000 at that rate. But we'll see. We'll see. If in a perfect world, if all goes well, $25,000, we should be there by 2022. So that's the main goal, and I'm going to be adding again about $1,000, at least $1,000, maybe even more than $1,000 per month. And I don't think I want to add any more stocks to the portfolio. That's another thing worth mentioning, right? I've been buying a lot of stocks. You can see here my activity. If I go to trading only, you can see I've been consistently buying $200 worth here back in the middle of December. Last week, $200 worth. Just today, $100 worth. So I've been buying stocks, and I just added Exxon, and I feel like the portfolio has a lot in it already. I don't want to get too spread thin. I think 2022 holdings is great for me right now, and that's what I'm going to be doing, right? That's what I'm going to be holding, what you guys see here. And if I actually go to the holdings tab, it should show me exactly how many I have. Yeah, 22 positions as of now. So that's the main goal. I mean, I don't know anything else that we could do. I mean, maybe a dividend income goal, maybe to make $500 a year off the portfolio in dividends. Is that possible at over 20K? Maybe. We'll have to crunch some numbers, but that could be a goal for sure. And I'd love to know what your goals are. Let me know in the comments down below. I don't want to drag this video too long. Let me know your comments and your thoughts on this portfolio, your goals into 2021 for your portfolio. I would love to know. And that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check the playlist if you want to see how it got from $0, guys. I literally only deposited $100 into this portfolio at first and built it from there. If you guys want to see how it started to how it got to today, the playlist is down below. And if you guys also want 10 free dollars from M1 Finance, that's linked down below as well. All you have to do is use that link, deposit any amount of money, open an account, use this brokerage, and you get 10 free dollars to invest in, and that's great. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, keep crushing the markets. Peace out.